Hey guys, John here from Sonic Drive Studio. I hope you're all doing well and welcome to the channel. Today's video is all about the Hughes & Kettner Tubemeister Deluxe 40 amplifier. As you heard in the intro, this compact blue beast sounds really awesome, so let's get into the details. The Tubemeister Deluxe 40 looks very similar to the Grandmeister Deluxe 40, which I also own, but it's quite a different beast. To hear how that one sounds, do check out the videos that I did with it, and also check out my videos of the Black Spirit 200, also by Hughes & Kettner. That's also a very cool and interesting amplifier in its own way. The Tubemeister Deluxe 40 is a bit more stripped down and will likely satisfy folks who just like to plug in and play. Both the Grandmeister Deluxe 40 and Black Spirit 200 have a lot more features than the Tubemeister Deluxe 40. Those amps have the additional Ultra channel, presence and resonance controls, boosts for each channel, and all the built-in effects. Now those are all amazing features to have, but a more stripped down and basic amp design like this also definitely has its charm. Some people like their amps jam-packed full of features, and other folks simply prefer a more simple and elegant amp design, so the Tubemeister Deluxe 40 is more geared towards those people. So it's a 40 watt full tube amplifier with 4 EL84s in the power section. So it's a powerful amplifier that can go quite loud if you need it to. So the front panel has a 3-channel layout. The clean channel on the right has its own dedicated EQ, and the crunch and lead channels have a shared EQ on the left. Each of the 3 channels has its own dedicated gain and master volume control, which can be very handy for balancing out the individual channels. You can select the channels by simply clicking on the corresponding buttons. And just as with the Grandmeister Deluxe 40, the sound of the preamps is actually based on the Hughes & Kettner Tri-Amp Mark III. So we've got some high quality tones in there, which is of course very important. You've already heard the clean tones in the intro. I really like the Hughes & Kettner clean channels a lot. Their tone lies somewhere between Vox and Fender, so the overall frequency response of the clean channel on the Tubemeister Deluxe 40 makes this a very versatile clean channel. And it can also be pushed up to a nice light crunch when you crank the gain. Now for the reverb in the intro, I used my Laney Black Country Customs Secret Path reverb pedal in the effects loop. The crunch channel has a nice mid-range push that certainly reminds of that classic British tone. Basically a type of brown sound, but again in its own unique way. Let's take a listen to the tones that this channel has to offer, but this time with a more classic sounding humbucker equipped guitar. Since I'm mainly a rock and metal player, the lead channel is where a lot of the magic is at for me. This channel sounds absolutely huge. Its slightly scooped and dry character does remind me of certain well-known USA-built amplifiers. Rectifiers. There's plenty of gain and low end on tap for that huge chunky tone that we're all after, but I really like how the sound of this channel can be shaped with the 3-band EQ. For the heavy tones in the intro, for example, I did crank up the mid somewhat just to help the EMG pickups sit better in the mix. I was expecting to really miss the resonance and presence controls that are on the Grandmeister Deluxe 40, but as it turns out the high and low end are balanced out quite nicely. And of course you can always use the bass and treble controls to sort of balance that out even more. And of course, like my other Hughes & Kettner amplifiers, the front panel lights up very nicely in that gorgeous blue color. I love how these amps always add atmosphere to the room, especially at night. It's also cool that you can look right into the head and look at the glowing tubes and the big transformers. It's also worth noting that the Hughes & Kettner amplifiers now ship with the JJ tubes stock, which is a good thing in my opinion because I like how JJ tubes sound in my amps. Now let's take a look at the features of the back panel of this amplifier. On the left side we have a MIDI input jack which can be used to switch the channels, turn the effects loop on or off, and also to change the power soak settings, which we'll get to in a minute. Then we have two foot switch jacks, which can be used to change the channels and or turn the effects loop on or off. And in the middle, we have the red box DI out, which is on most of the Hughes & Kettner amplifiers. This can be a very handy feature for recording or playing live. There are basically some high quality speaker emulations in there, which means that you can either record direct in your studio or for live playing, go direct into the PA. A very handy feature indeed. You can also choose to turn the speaker emulation off and use your own impulse responses, as I'm doing in this video. I'm using Ownhammer impulse responses from the Workhorse V30 IR package that I'm running in Helix Native inside of my DAW. Then we have the Tube Safety Control, or TSC, which is also a very handy and convenient feature to have. This basically lets you know what the state is of your power amp tubes, and it automatically adjusts the bias to improve the tonal and technical stability of the amp. Swapping tubes is also a breeze with these amplifiers. And last but not least, over on the right side, we have the power soak or power scaling feature. This allows you to turn down the power from 40 to 20, 5 or 1 watts, or you can completely turn it off for silent recording. So this amp basically has a load box built in. Great for people who like to play or record at night without waking the entire neighborhood. The power soak can also be used for tonal shaping, because when you turn down the wattage, the power tubes will saturate earlier, which will give the amp a more warm and compressed tone. So it's not only a very practical and handy feature to have, but it can also be a very powerful tonal shaping tool. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't be afraid to drop a like and a comment down below, and also hit subscribe along with the notification bell to stay up to date. You can also follow Sonic Drive Studio on Facebook and Instagram. And to end this video, let's listen to the clip from the intro again, but this time with the guitars isolated. Thanks and cheers, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.